Great evening. It's definitely a pleasure to be here and an honor to be representing Mr. Dr. Shenita Connolly. And it's definitely an honor to, part of this event tonight. And I'm excited to talk about building strong relationships. And I want to guys just welcome you guys to Life with Shenita. And as you see, she's not here, but we're gonna, take her place in regards to sharing with you guys some nuggets when it comes to networking. And so I want to start off by mentioning when you think about networking, is really about when you think about who the five people you're closest with, that really shares a lot about who you are, right? And so when it comes to my background, how I grew up, the surrounded, well, they was some some quality individuals that really had purpose about them. And I want to introduce to you all, some of my brothers that I've been growing up with since like second grade. And this guy here comes to information security, when it comes to cybersecurity, he's that guy. We actually been networking the last year or so together, and he has been, making an impact when it comes to cybersecurity and also being a guru when it comes to government contracting. So, without further ado, my brother Lennox Francis.
Hello. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing today? It's great to be here. This is our second time here. As you can see, as Quez said, Dr. C is not here, but we are here. We came to give you guys a great show today, and that's what we're here. That's what we're here to do. So, as Quez was mentioning, growing up with people that's growing up around, your five close people. Um, you build strong relationships, you grow together, you prosper together. And it's not just me and Quez tonight. We have another brother. I'm not gonna say his name yet, but just know he's a math guy. He's a construction guy. He's a guy who's always thinking, always elevating, always trying to get to the next level. And he's just that guy. So speaking of this guy, he has a bachelor degree already in mathematics. As we know, math is pretty hard for a lot of people. Math is not easy, while also pursuing a civil engineering degree, graduating next year, 2024. And he's also an entrepreneur, just like me and Quez are. And he's new to it, but I guarantee he's gonna crush it. This guy is, he's that guy. So I'm going to bring him on. His name is Brandon Mercer.
All right. Thank you, brother Lennox. Thank you for the introduction, and it's an honor to be here on Life with Shenita podcast. I want to spin it back and introduce my brother Quez. He did such a good job bringing in Lennox and myself. So, just want to let you guys know who the third person of the trio is, which is Jaquez, and he's the foundation in life and finances. Like, it's a big part of life, and he's taking that under his wing and just becoming a pro at it. So he started a marketing agency in college, which he graduated from North Carolina A&T with his bachelor's in business and administration. And since then, he's been just helping families and entrepreneurs grow in a way that's extraordinary. And he helped people protect and save money. He's a licensed financial professional. So yeah, any finance problems, he's your guy. Been doing it for 3 years. So welcome to the show. And off the rip, I want to ask you, Lennox, how would you like to introduce yourself? In a way that's to let people know who you are today.
Yeah. So for me, um, right now I'm in cybersecurity. I'm a information security, cybersecurity. It's a whole big umbrella. So as you know, cybersecurity is big in the world right now. A lot of people need it. It's basically protecting all your assets over the internet. Or it doesn't have to be the internet, but I mean, it's mainly the internet. So cybersecurity is, that's my thing right now. That's my career. That's what I'm going to do strong for however long I want to do it. But also on the side, I do government contracting. So government contracting, I relate it to what I do in my career, which is cybersecurity. So any computer needs, any electronic needs, I supply that to the government. I win contracts and I, provide for the government. I'm also in the military as well. So that's how I got into government contracting. And it's just been, a stepping stone to get to where I want to be, to continue to grow and just prosper in that field. And I
Sure.
guess, yeah, pass it over to the financial connector.
No, I think, I'm glad you mentioned that when it comes to, being a financial connector. Lennox, the last couple of weeks, and actually, Brandon as well, how we actually met Dr. C. All right, remember when we actually introduced ourselves, and we saw her. It was this showroom. It was nice, and she was like, "Wow, like let's take some pictures. Let's do this." And then we got to conversating, and we realized that it was a power with connecting with one another, right? And I think that says a lot. That says a lot when it comes to working, because today is about strong relationships. And we probably known Dr. C for what, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks now. But it's like the relationship there, it seems bigger than that, because we've been able to really just make an impression, and a lasting impression that has allowed us to, connect further. So I'm curious for you guys, like when you think about building strong relationships, and what does that look like? And if y'all don't mind, share some experiences that y'all probably had when it comes to just building strong relationships. I know for one, we've been able to build one with each other, and maybe we can start there.
Definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I would start like in my childhood, like when I look back and seeing how I like met you guys and stuck with it, I think and stuck around you. I think that's key. Like when you realize someone that's on your same purpose, got the same purpose as you, and y'all headed to success. I think you should stick together, and that's what I've done with you. And then once you get older, we still networking and meeting new people. I think you got to be able to recognize. You need to like minds recognize each other, and so I think you should be able to recognize, who should be able to come along with you, and who shouldn't. So that's what building strong relationships look like to me.
And to piggyback off that, building strong relationships, for one, it starts outside of the house. Um, a lot of people nowadays, in my opinion, they don't want to get outside of the house. You have to get outside of the house. You have to meet people. You have to meet all these different people. It's what they say, 8 billion people in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's so many people. You can go outside every day and not meet everybody. You can go outside for the rest of your life and not meet everybody. I know there is a lot of. I know this is kind of hard for people to grab, but like over the years, I've been networking, just like with you guys. It's just talking to individuals at Walmart, Target, Publix. Like, there's a lot of good people in the world. A small conversation can change your life. Um, some small advice can change your life. Just going outside with the intention to better yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go outside and once you step outside, this is my mindset. When I go outside, I know I'm gonna meet somebody someday that can change my life. I always tell myself that when I go outside, somebody gonna change my life today. I'm gonna receive something that's gonna change my life today, and it can be something so small, but something so small can turn into something so big. So when I go to these networking events, when I go to conferences, I just talk to people. I just want to build relationships, see what you do, how you do it, why you do it, and it maybe it'll give you a different perspective on life, and you never know. Like opposites can sometimes attract, and what somebody else do doesn't have to necessarily relate to what you do, but y'all can build a bond to like, have like a certain type of relationship that that can last for a lifetime. And it's just relationships are the key to everything, especially nowadays, and they'll take you so far.
Yeah, and so I want you to, when we think about last week, or it was like 2 weeks ago, I actually had a couple people that I was speaking to. It was like, Quez, like how do you know about all these different events? Like every time I see you posting or something, you at an event, or it's all, you're always saying that you're at some event. And what I share with them is that, for one, what I got from what you were saying, Lennox, is that you have a certain mindset that you are like receptive to speak to certain people and really just hear what they got to say, but also to receive the value and also give some value. And
Right.
so I think about when, let's say, when I came back from college, I haven't really got a chance to really explore Atlanta. I'm born and raised here, but I haven't had a chance to really explore it, especially in the business. And so when I came back, I started going to different networking events. Every like Eventbrite, Meetup. I don't know if y'all heard of, if you guys, is listening, heard of Eventbrite and Meetup, where I goes out every day. Really once a week. I would schedule time out. And once I started going to these events, I started going to ones that, I'm gonna be honest, some of them was trash. Some of them, I'm like, it was two people there. Some of them was value. But what I realized is that I started figuring out which ones I like to go to, which ones I want to say no to. And over time, next thing you know, you guys said, Quez, you know, we got this black tie event coming up, and you know, we actually gonna be there with Dame Dash. I'm like, hold up now, Dame Dash, Dash, and so, you know, but what I told the guy that asked me about how do I find out all of these events is that I give value, because when Lennox, when we were at InvestFest, we, you know, I share that event like, hey, Lennox, let's go to InvestFest. Then you paid it forward back. That means that, hey, let's go to an exclusive event with Dame Dash, right? And so I think, you know, when it comes to relationships and building strong relationships and also being able to make a lasting impression, is how are you giving value, right? Because nobody wants to talk to someone that's not going to put, you know, going to add to that, right? And so I want to hear from you guys, like when you think about tips to actually make a lasting impression, you know, the do's of making a lasting impression and you know, building relationships. What are some tips that you would give people in regards to that?
Well, any tips? So I would say just get out there and get your feet wet. Really, like, as far as me, like this year, I like made my a choice that said I want to like start a business and learn the loops around like business in general. And so at the beginning of the year, I took a trip to Africa and like I got inspired and like it was like a dream come true almost. Like I seen it in front of me and now I just got to like put work into it. So I'll say, um, just getting out there and taking that trip really helped me in the sense of just like breaking out of my shell of like being afraid to like talk to people that I don't know or you know just being somewhere that make you kind of uncomfortable. So that's what I would say is like a big tip. Like one of the biggest tips is just getting out there and not being afraid and taking risks. Really. What about you, Lennox?
For me, I would say being authentic. You know, just being yourself. Um, Being yourself can get you so much further than faking what you are. You know, just go in these places and be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Talk how you talk. Still be professional, but talk how you talk. Have some what word is that? Just have something behind you. Like, you know, you got it. We can say intention. Just say have some intention about what you're trying to accomplish. I wouldn't go to nobody immediately asking for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like Quinn said, bring value. You got to bring value. That's where if you go into networking events and you meet somebody here, and if you meet somebody here that does hair, and you go to another band, somebody else here does hair, you can connect them, but you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to bring value somewhere. Like
Mhm.
you don't always don't have to ask for everything. You don't always have to ask for anything at all. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself, provide value, and just have intention behind whatever you're trying to do.
Now, I'm not gonna let y'all just skip over going to Africa. Lennox, you didn't even mention about, you know, your experience in Africa, because I'm be honest, y'all, I wasn't a part of that, but y'all had to tell me like that experience in Africa. For one, what did you have to do to get there, right? Because I'm pretty sure you had to, know some people, and then, Brandon, I actually saw your LinkedIn today on the banner. I saw where you was table. I think you was at with the mayor, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So, well, man, where do you start? Like, so Africa, man, it was a trip. It was an amazing trip. It was like a business slash birthday trip for our mentor, Mr. Jay White. An amazing guy that's like really, I would say he helping me like realize he helped me realize my purpose, and I owe him a lot to that because you know a lot of people don't know their purpose or just think that they don't have one when you really do. So, but apart from that, he like introduced the trip to us at the beginning of the year and just stayed on us about it, and we were serious about it, and we made it happen. And then, well, being there, of course, like you mentioned, the picture in Zimbabwe. That was actually the mayor of Zimbabwe, and we was that was like probably the biggest highlight of the trip. Talking, having a sit down meeting with her in her office, talking about how we like the essential conversation was about getting um, black businesses in Africa and having them thrive. Like what do they need and what could we provide? Like how you saying provide value.
If I
That was our purpose, being there and just making a foundation. Like a lot of people don't even think of that. Like going back to the motherland, but yeah. So that's the type of time that the trip was on. Really, what you got to say about it, Lynn? I know you was there.
Africa, every time I think about Africa, it just gives me a sense of comfort. Africa is like I feel like I belong there. So going to Africa, it was like Brandon mentioned, it was brought to us by a mentor, Jay White, great guy, very great guy. He helped us, like Brandon said, helped us figure out our purpose, let us know that things are actually possible. Like whatever you want to accomplish, like it's actually possible. He's put us in rooms where people that look like us are actually making moves, not just what we see on TV, but people that look like us are actually doing things that, the statistics say we can't do. So, and going to Africa, he has a friend over there named Dumo. Well, I will never forget Dumo. Dumo is a genius. Just by going to Africa, off the strength of Jay relationship, we actually stayed with Dumo just because, as we talked about building a strong relationship, Jay had this relationship with Dumo, so Jay, so Dumo allowed us to stay with him based off the relationship that he has with Jay. So you see how that works. Like it's a trickle down effect of
Right.
having one relationship to eventually branch out to others. And I'm a loss for words for Africa. It was like Brandon said, it's a eye opener. It lets you know it gets you out your comfort zone for sure. Lets you know that anything is possible. It lets you know that there's people all around the world struggling. Everybody's going through the same thing. Nobody really has an excuse. You have to get it done. So where you can get it done. And if we bridging the gap, we building relationships in Africa, which is a 15-hour flight across nothing but water.
No,
And
wow.
like it's letting you know that everybody's going through the same thing. Everybody has trials and tribulations. Everybody has to put in the work, and to get where you want to be. And it's just still to this day, like I can still, if I go to sleep, I can still see myself in Africa.
And another thing, the piggyback off the Africa trip was the relationships that we built there. Like I know
Mhm.
Lennox mentioned Dumo, but we also went with like a team of like
Mhm.
I'd say seasoned veterans. They was a lot older than us, but like they were still part of our team, and we as a group like built relationships with other people, not just Dumo, but like we met a ton of people out there
Miners.
that yeah, a gold miner, jewelry makers, the mayor. So it's just like it was a ton of relationships built, and it's not always what you know or who you know, but it's like who know you. And so now Dumo know us, and we know Dumo, so we're just gonna bridge that gap. That's what uh like a big like
That's
moment
big.
of the trip was to like bridge the gap and keep it flourished. So that's what we wanted to do.
That's big. That's big, man. And y'all, 50 hours flight. That seems insane. But I think y'all mentioned some great things, especially thinking about having Jay. Jay, he's also make a huge impact in my life as well. And I haven't, I'm starting to build a relationship with him like you guys have. But you mentioned about having a mentor, and when you mentioned that, I actually thought about something that someone had shared with me is a very cool analogy that to have someone, you know, pulling you, right? Right. When it comes to a mentor, somebody gotta, be able to pull you to pull what's greatness, the greatness that's within you. But also you got to be able to push someone as well, right? So it's like a push-pull thing to where you're now giving back to someone else. And the reason why I say that is because actually me being in the financial industry, I've been able to really be surrounded by some people that's making $100,000 a year, making $1 million a year, and I different events, right? When it comes to as I got over the 3 years that I've been in the financial industry, and once I start going to these events, one event that I went to, I was determined to ask questions. I was like, okay, I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to talk to the people that's winning, the people that's making the money that I want to make. I'm going to ask these questions. And one time I was watching my one of my mentors, Juan. Juan was on the stage. He had everybody just like in a maze. And so I was like, I'm gonna walk up to him and ask him a question. So when I saw Juan get off the stage, I walked up to Juan. I said, Juan, what is the one thing that I need to focus on for the next 3 months to make sure that I can, reach my next goal?
Mm-hmm.
One thing, he started scratching his head. Then he reached into his coat pocket. Then he put out a MAC lipstick. I'm like, he said, you want to know the one thing? I said, yeah. He said, this it. The one, what are you talking about, man? And he was like, MAC and lipstick. He said, this is it. He said, because you need to focus on improving your self-image, right? How you perceive yourself, how you look. He said, those earrings in your ear, take them out, right? That's what he told me, right? And then what I got from that message is that reason why he said that is because, one, I need to improve my self-image, but also the reason it was so empowering to me because the whole time we're talking, he's staring me dead in my eyes, like the whole time. I'm like, what the? And then when I done talking, I turned around and it was like 20, 30 people behind me, literally the whole conversation, right? And so what I got from that is that he actually cared about interest. He cared about how he was going to help me prevail my goal. And I feel like that's what you guys see in Jake. And I think that one of the key things that we talked about last week on this show, or the week before last, with thankfulness and really thanking our environment, our community that we have. Like our parents know each other. Like we have a huge community, and I want you guys to talk about that as far as those relationships, because we all played sports in high school, right? Like Lennox played baseball, Brandon played football. We had coaches, we had teachers that we really like. Like I want to really put emphasis on the people that have been in our lives to really shape the people that we are right now, and how those relationships have made us being able to network.
All right, I can go. I can start off for that one. So for me, as you mentioned, I played sports. I played sports probably since I was like 5 years old. So I have coaches still that I talk to from when I was 5, or who coached me since I was 5, 6, you know what I'm saying, all the way up until when I stopped playing sports. And I still talk to them just because, I was a kid that, I guess you can say always respected the coach, you know what I'm saying, always had a good relationship with the coach. Mom and pops had a relationship with the coach. So it was always, it was a mutual relationship. It was good. Like whatever I needed, they would provide. Whatever they needed, we would provide. And that's actually how I got into cybersecurity, talking to an old coach, a coach I knew since I was 6 years old. And that goes back to just talking to people, we're talking about our network right now, our community network, you know what I mean? So people that's been around us for a while, or that's, just down the street or a phone call away. And I just hit my coach up and asked him what he did, because honestly, my coach he's living like a king. So I'm like, yeah, coach, what you do? So he told me cybersecurity, looked into cybersecurity, figured I was dealing with computers. I never really heard of it, but I didn't really know what it was. So I did a little research, wound up changing my major to cybersecurity, started taking classes, started liking it. I'm like, man, I can really do this. And we all know, like, we were born in 2000, bro. Like we've been dealing with computers and electronics for forever. So honestly, I already had the basics down pat. I just had to learn, the security part and, different protocols of how to, I guess you can say, maneuver within a security space. And it just came based off a relationship from a coach that I've had for more than half of my life, and he's helped me along the way, and other coaches as well, just life advice. It doesn't have to necessarily be career advice. It can be life advice. It can be relationship advice. It can be financial advice. It's a lot of things, and it's transferred from, a coach that I had from 10 plus years ago.
That's big.
That's deep. That's deep, man. I would say my story as far as to like how I found my mentor is pretty similar, and I mean my purpose to what I want to do is pretty similar. So when I was young, my mom, she made sure I was like she wanted to make sure I had like a male role model, someone I could look up to in my life growing up. So she would put me in like little programs, but I never really like stuck with none of them until she put me with Jay. And at first, being with Jay, I didn't like it. It was called the bow ties. I didn't like it. They made me dress up. We would go out, and I hated it. But after a while, I realized like it's not that bad, and it's pretty cool. Like getting to see the stuff that Jay was taking us to do. And then, like after a year or two of doing it, I was like, yeah, I was ready to go to doing it. And then, fast forward, once I graduated, I had kind of like lost that connection with Jay as I got older. But I like rekindled it and called him. He still had the same number. He was still in Atlanta, so that was like a blessing. Then I immediately got to working with him, doing riding bikes and just making money, doing a lot of different stuff, and just like being around him. I feel like Mr. J is one of those guys that the more you be around him, it's like you can't stay the same. You either got to level up or you
Right.
gonna like get like dished out. And
Right.
so that's like the type of people that you want to be around. So I'm glad I rebuilt that relationship, and it's just been thriving ever since. So like we do it big, and now I'm doing a lot of other stuff off the strength of knowing Jay, off
Right.
the strength of working with Lynn all the time, and having Jaquez. All of you guys are like big to me. So I just want to thank you brothers. But yeah, Quez, what about you, man?
For sure. Man, you know, as far as mentorship, as far as being able to have strong relationships with people that have done something is very impactful, because I think that we have, like we talked about, we've known each minute, so we have these networks that people that we talk to. But I think also is that one tip I would give when it comes to making a lasting impression, and when it comes to just building those strong relationships. But let's say we out networking, we out, going to a different event, and when you're able to say, okay, you are able to know Jay, but end up doing other things and also meeting other people because of Jay. But I think that's just a testament to who you are, right? Because you built a certain reputation about yourself, to where it's like Jay knows that Brandon, he's a stand-up guy. You know what I mean? Like Brandon, he's a stand-up guy. Like Brandon's gonna make sure that when he says he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it, right? And when he needs somebody to, hey, we need somebody like event, he asks you guys for some assistance. You there. So it's like when it's time for you actually saying, hey, Jay, this is something I've been looking into. Can you assist me with it? Well, it's so much easier for him to do that and assist you with it, because you have a reputation about you on being the guy that you are, and he can respect that. And I think that's one of the best things as far as being able to build a strong relationship, because we can meet somebody one day and necessarily like next couple of days or next week or next month, and not really rekindle that relationship. But I think a key to it is also nurturing the relationship, and
Mhm.
also about the two magic words. One of the biggest two magic words of building relationships. What'd you
Go
say,
ahead.
Lennox? Following
Go ahead.
up.
Go ahead and say it, Wes.
It's following up, man. And
Yep.
I think I have some tips on how I follow up, but I'm curious to how y'all experience has been, just following up, because it's key.
Can we go? I want to go back to mentorship real quick. I just got something to say.
Yes,
So,
sir.
with mentorship, I feel like everyone needs a mentorship no matter what age you are. Even Jay told us he has a mentor. Jay is 50 years old and he has a mentor. He still has people, that he surrounds himself with to better himself and, eventually pass information down to us. And back to back to what Quez was saying about having someone who's already done it before you, it can help prevent the mistakes that you're going to make. You know what I'm saying? Even
Right.
if it's not what you don't get me wrong, making mistakes is great because you learn from mistakes. But if you can limit the mistakes you make, you can most definitely, move at a faster pace and get to where you're trying to go without so many distractions in the way. Well, not even distractions, but so many uh disruptions or trials and
Speed
tribulations
bumps.
in a way. Yeah, speed bumps. Yeah. So it's just having a mentor. I 100% agree. It's probably the best thing that's happened to me. Is elevating my life. Specifically, Jay. Areas in the chat. Specifically, Jay. As he just elevated me, or as we can say, all of our lives, just by
Right.
being around, being inspired, and just knowing that it's possible. That's my biggest thing. Letting people know that it's possible. And Quez, you said following up, right? What were some tips for following up?
Yeah, following up. Hey, because so when we had went to we had went somewhere, and you was like, okay, all right, now we got to make sure that we can. I think it was a cybersecurity guy. I remember I was telling you like, hey, Lennox, you got to meet this guy. Like he was telling me about his business and how he helps certain people, and I think that I was able to when I saw him at InvestFest, I was able to actually enter because after I met him the first time, I don't even remember where I met him at, but I follow up with him. I was like, hey, it was a pleasure meeting with you, even though I don't know about cybersecurity, but I think I might know someone that can benefit for what you do. And then I end up seeing him at InvestFest, and just so happened you was with me, and I
Right.
connected you guys. But yeah, tell me about your with that.
Say it again, Quez.
I said, yeah, but tell me about your experience with following up.
Oh, so following up is like Quez said, like that's the key. That is the key. Because you can meet. I feel like meeting somebody in person is definitely much better than meeting somebody online. So when you meet them in person, you have to make them remember you. So
Right.
that goes back to appearance. That goes back to intention. That goes back into um, we're gonna just say appearance and attention for right now. And once you do that, if you hit a, I would. This is our little key. I feel like Quez actually told me this. You don't text them right away. You text them maybe the next morning or maybe 2 days later, just to let them know that okay, I'm serious. Like I'm here. Like they'll eventually remember you. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's okay to hit them up immediately after, but my key is to hit them up maybe like a day later or just in a certain time of day where they'll see your message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's big. That's big. And you see, Dr. Shenita, she mentioned about how we met at $1 Million Experience.
Yeah.
All of us, all three of us, all right, let's follow up.
Follow up.
So yeah, that's huge.
So I'll take my take on it as like I'm the guy that's like I don't really do this, or I won't say I don't really do it, but I'm getting into it more, and I'm getting more comfortable with it. So my biggest point on following up was like making that phone call and letting that person that you talking to, that you trying to get something from, or you trying to work with, or whatever your purpose or your intent is with meeting and networking with people in the business world, is make sure you genuine, and how you, like how we said again, adding value to their life or their business or whatever you all discussed. And so yeah, that's my biggest take on it. And just getting out there, and you're gonna stumble over your words, and you might feel embarrassed, but at the end of the day, the right person will recognize it and see it as, this guy really wants to work for me, or this guy really wants to help me. So that's just your opportunity, and I would say take advantage of it every follow up chance you get.
Yeah, that's big. And another thing as well, I think Lenny's mentioned about being presentable and really being able to make sure that you can have a sharp appearance, right? But a lot of times people may think that just right here, but it's a few things that go into it could be of course how you look, you maybe how you dress, also you may you want to make sure you smell good too. You want to make sure that all those hygiene things are there. But also outside of that is thinking about having a business card, right? Making sure you have a business card, and then these days you can have a virtual business card.
Right.
And then also if you have a business, you have some type of thing that you're in and you want to share with other people. Well, also having a platform to where they can go check you out, right? And saying, hey, okay, I know that you mentioned about this, but a lot of times, and one of the key things about following up as well, when I follow up with people, always want to make sure that it's more personable, right? I want to make sure that when I'm following up, hey, Dr. Shenita, I really enjoyed the conversation that we had about how black young men these days, need to be able to be around like-minded individuals, and I really love that, and I curious to know how we could work together, right? And so like being able to add those type of things and be personable is great, but just to get back to being presentable, having also sending in that follow-up, sending something in like a virtual business card, right? So you say, okay, all right, I enjoy our conversation, right? But you might have forgot about who I was. Something you might forget.
Right.
But I'm also send my virtual business card as well, just so you can see, oh, it's this guy. And I also got this other tip that someone gave me is that when you out networking, you just take a picture. Hey, take a picture with me real quick. And then when I do follow up, I see you. Okay, now I can remember. Let's be honest, a lot of people not gonna remember your name.
Right.
So that's one of the major things as well. But do y'all be remembering people names?
It depends on.
Not at all.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't. But just to piggyback off that too, relationships. We talking about relationship, building a strong relationship. Relationship is all about community as well. I feel like our mentor Jay preaches this all the time. Doing things together. Like a lot of us want to do things by ourselves. Like it's cool to do certain things by yourself, but sometimes you need a group. You need different mindsets. You need different personalities to actually get the outcome that you're trying to get. And there's nothing wrong with having like a team. Having like-minded individuals is going to help as well. So a team of like-minded individuals that's willing to get to the same place. It doesn't have to necessarily be the same career area, but the same, everybody's going at the same trajectory. Everybody's trying to go up. So if everybody's trying to go up and we're all together and we're all, bonded together, we all got the same like mind. There's nothing else to do but go what?
Right up.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
Right.
That's big. And so I feel like we still got some tips. We still got some do's. We still got some don'ts when it comes to making a lasting impression. That's still on the table. See, Jay, somebody terrible with names. Look, trust me, y'all understand. But I feel like we still got some tips that's still on the table. Like y'all got anything else that like let's say let's paint a scenario, right? Let's say it's gonna be some Christmas events coming up. I think there's a couple of events coming up in December that you whether it's your family, whether it's friends, right? What are some tips that for people out there? What's some do's and don'ts for making that lasting impression when it comes to being able to make a lasting impression. Y'all have anything?
Any tips? Go ahead, Bree.
Maybe that's something that we missed.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what the don'ts are, and when you meet someone, like of course the obvious, be dressed the part, and talk with some enthusiasm and stuff like that. But what's just something that you think, Quez, like you just absolutely don't say or don't do? Like, is it like asking about like a money value of how much people make, or what would you say is like a big no-no?
Yeah, I mean, y'all, you both actually mentioned one of them, right? Is don't be scared to be out of there. Don't be scared to put yourself out there, right? Don't be scared to be uncomfortable. Y'all both already said that, right? But also when you speaking, and then Dr. C said a great one. Don't expect results right away. that's key. That's key, and that's it's especially being able to have a certain network. It's a numbers game, right? You got to probably talk to 10 people just to get one person that's going to actually, provide some real value as far as elevating you. But another thing as far as a don't is, say for instance, we actually meet each other in person. Say, hey, Lennox, it's nice meeting you, man. And then, hey, Lennox, guess what, man? I do this, I do that. I can do your website. I can do this, I can do that. And just keep going on about myself. And in the conversation, I never asked Lennox, what you do? Where you from? What brought you to this event, right? So that's one of the major don't is, like Dr. C said, don't be too aggressive, right? But also just going on and on up yourself. Let me tell you, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Right. And I would say, just to top off that quiz, a lot of people, this is what I was taught. A lot of people, if you're going to networking events or you're going to conferences where you're going to meet different people, a lot of times when you're talking to somebody, you should let them talk about themselves because people love to do what? Talk about themselves. So letting somebody talk about themselves and, having some questions ready to answer, to ask them, to, see how they got where they got to or why they do what they do. Um, I don't really know too many don'ts. I can say this don't. If you go to an event and there's maybe alcohol there, don't, obviously don't get too many drinks and then you're slurring your words and you're just all over the place. And,
Right.
that's a big don't. I was taught that a lot, but I know that's mainly like maybe like corporate events or just, big events where you're going to meet big people or big names. You don't want to get out of character or not be yourself. You want to stay authentic. And Mission said it's important to be upfront. Yes, I agree. I agree as well.
So have y'all heard about the 50 Cent story about how he go about doing things in networking?
No.
No.
So
Tell us.
so with 50 Cent, I think he got wrote it in like one of his books, I believe. He mentioned that when he go to clubs, right? When he would go to clubs, he would get a cup, right? But he would act like it's liquor in there, right? But he'll really have like water, right? And he'll act like like he try to stick with the vibe of everybody else, but he wouldn't drink. And the reason why he wouldn't drink is because he wanted to stay in control and make sure that he can get the best out of him, get the best out of himself, but also be able to be on point to be there for what he's there for, right? So he connection. And a lot of times I peep that if you ever go to if you have a career, sometimes they might have like outings or whatnot, right? Or you might be a mentor to somebody and they might like invite you out, you at the bar or something. They say, oh, get you a drink. I always feel like they tested me. Like they test. Look, if you drink too much, we can tell who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, have y'all ever experienced that with like a job or just being out with somebody and you feel like, hold up, they putting this liquor in front of my face just for temptation.
Right. Right. Definitely.
So Quez, I got a question. I just thought of it. So like so say you went to a networking event, you met a couple people, you extended yourself out to a couple people, and then you followed up and you got like two people to reach back out. How would you say and they like how we did with Dr. C? We are working with her now. We're doing the show. How would you say like we should sustain this relationship and help build off of it? Like what's some pointers into building more into this relationship that we've established?
Man, that is a great question. That's a great question because, like I said, we can meet somebody one day, next day they're gonna forget about you, right? But how to make sure that they don't about you, and especially with a topic, building, making sure you have a lasting impression. For one, if you're in business, there's different ways to stay in front of people. Regardless if you're in business or not, think about social media, right? A lot of times we use social media maybe for the wrong reasons, right? So what's a don't don't use social media for the wrong reason. There you go, right? But also you can also that's called, we want to nurture our relationships in a way that can keep people thinking about us, right? If they want to keep thinking about Brandon, if Brandon keep posting, every time they open up they social media app, they see Brandon. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we were supposed to talk about being able to help make sure he do for me, right? And because they see you so many times on social media every day, you 2-3 times a day they see you posting. Every time they think about cleaning for what they have to clean for as far as their business or what they have, the first person they're gonna think about is Brandon because at the top of their. That social media is just one way, but also emails as well. So it's a few ways, but if you just think about the different ways that you can just put yourself out there just from a technology and social media standpoint, there's so many ways. And even this, like I mentioned earlier about with Lennox, when we went to Invest Fest and Lennox, to be honest, and we saw some people that we knew before, right?
Right, definitely.
And that was simply because we are consistently going to events.
Right.
It's just like if you're nurturing relationships online, but you can also nurture relationships offline just by being where the people are going to be at, right? So when we went to Invest Fest, next thing you know, I'm seeing people that I saw at other events. I'm like, oh, I seen you at this, and so it's like, just being putting yourself out there, like you guys said earlier, not being uncomfortable as far as putting yourself out there, and that's a huge thing as well. And actually today, other day, I don't think one of y'all was Dr. Brian Taylor. He was a guy that had the dreads. He was, anyways, Brian, I ended up connecting with him after the $1 Million Experience. And we ended up, talking some business, working with each other. But I called him, follow up with him the other day. He was like, we're going to catch up in a few days. But he was like, but guess what? Saturday, E.T. Eric Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, Saturday, E.T. is preaching at House of Hope. I said, hold up. Are you serious? I'm like, first of all, that's E.T., right? Second of all, House of Hope is my church. and then third is that, it was, first of all, it's free. It's free. So, I plan on being there, but, it's being able to, I feel like the reason why that happened is because I provided value to Brian. And because I provided value to Brian, Brian's like, hey, it's an event coming up, and I think you should be there. So I think that's a great thing there. But when y'all think about, it's a question that we had, and you think about relationships of like your loved one, right? It's a question that says, what advice would you give someone who is struggling with building a strong relationship with a close loved one who is difficult to connect with? What do you guys have for that?
That's deep when you said a difficult to connect with, because it kind of puts you in a position of where it's like, if I know I reach out, what type of reaction would I get? And I think that is what turns a lot of people down from like going to rekindle that relationship that they want with a family member or a loved one. And what I would say to that is just be humble, and humility. It carry you a long way. Like don't be too prideful to get like a brick wall or with someone, depending on the severity of like why you guys got so distant. But in like business terms, like it could be you just think that person done forgot about you, like how you said people will forget about you. And as for me, I experienced that with my guy that I met in Africa, in South Africa. His name is Dumo. I got a plan with him. I want to push it. This past school year, I haven't like been connecting with him or anything. I haven't been talking to him. So I had to make sure, like it was on me to go back out and say, hey, I'm still doing this. I still want you in my corner. And I was kind of scared to send that. It took me a while to get it typed up and send it to him, just for him to reply back within an hour and say, hey, yeah, I've been waiting on you, and I'm all go. I'm 100%. So like that just released a lot of weight off my shoulders and helped me see like, hey, I got this. I got a good team behind me in my corner. So that's what I think should help a lot of people.
Right. And I say, I'm gonna just say pride, like B said, putting your pride to the side. Sometimes it can be hard, but you never know where it can lead to. Just having patience, maybe taking things day by day. Don't try to be don't try to force things too much, but just thread lightly, and eventually things will start to get better. And just you only can control what you can control. So do as much as you can to say that you did what you done. You tried. You what I'm saying. You tried. You put forth effort to change the situation or do whatever you had to do to get out of the situation. So that's what I would have to say about that.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. So I think we mentioned some great tips, great do's, some great don'ts. And I think we start off with one, bringing value, right? Making sure that you bringing value to the table. Lennox mentioned about being authentic, right? Making sure that you yourself show up as yourself. You can't show up as nobody else, right? Right.
Yeah.
Bringing value, being authentic, and also have a mentor, right? And yeah, well, great. That's definitely a great point. Control only what you can control.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
that's it. So we mentioned about being able to have a mentor, right? Brandon mentioned about, okay, when it comes to, it's not about who you know, right? It's about who knows you, right? And you're able to do that based on the reputation, right? And so those are some great things that we talked about today, and I think that this was a great show about network. I think it's time for us to close it out. And you guys
Yeah.
got anything y'all want to get off and share about where everybody can find y'all and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So for me, as I mentioned, I work in cybersecurity. I also do government contracting. So my email is listed below, sales@cybergollc.net. You can find me if you email me there, you can find. I'll send you my information. Um, we can talk about whatever. I'm all about inspiring others as well. I just want everybody to know that whatever it is that you want to do, whatever dream you have, whatever was ever in your imagination, it can happen. It's possible. I've seen it happen. I'm around people that's doing it, that's actually like living proof. That makes me believe that I can do it. That lets my brothers believe they can do it. Whatever my brothers feel like they can do, I tell them that they can do it. Nothing's impossible. Of course, you have to put in work. Um, just have a relationship with God as well. And just strive for it. Just do it. Like don't sit around thinking, waiting for the perfect time. Just do it. Just act. And whatever comes from that is what comes with that. A lot will come from it. I'm not gonna say whatever comes to it. A lot will come from that. Just take action and do what you gotta do.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I appreciate that, man. For my closing remarks, I'll say, again, my name is Brandon Mercer. I'm still a student, and I go to FAMU, and I'm doing civil engineering. But I actually got my own power washing business. So if you need your concrete washed or anything, you'll see my business down there, Maka Clean Creek, and yeah, I'm just doing big things. I got a lot of big things in line. So in the future, I can expect to like release some good news about what's shaking, and I'll say yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. And I really appreciate this topic. It helped me like just think about what I want as far as like my future and how I'm still shaping it. So like just the networking and everything and building relationship and following up and being what do you say being valuable to a person. Like yeah, you're the most valuable asset. That's how I think you should look at it and go about it like that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, guys. Before I want us to because last week was Thanksgiving. That we had the first opportunity to actually be on the podcast with Dr. C. I want to take some time to just really just thank her and for this opportunity because we be honest, like we had just met her and the next thing she trusted us
Yeah.
to really host this be on her platform, and that takes to do. And I feel like it's so much in store for what we're going to be able to do together. And so I just want to say, really, thank you to Dr. C.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, big shout out to
So
Dr. C.
big shout out, big shout out. And for as far as because when we talk about building strong relationships, as we close out tonight, me personally, I like to just classify myself as a resource, right? I'm I'm a connector for for families, but also entrepreneurs when it comes to when it comes to business development and financial strategies. And I want to just be there to provide that value. And when you think about finance, or you think about if everyone was just asking themselves that question, when was the last time you went through a personal finance course in high school, or did you go through a personal finance course in high school? Most of us would say no. But y'all two would say no because we went to the same high school. And so when you think about that, then where are we learning this information, right? And so I'm pretty sure we have to think back to the people that we know. People maybe want to know, how do I deal with debt management, property protection, even when it comes to building wealth and not really understanding your options for growing your money, right? Is we know that may be an issue, but who do we know that can provide that solution, right? And so I'm actually a part of a fintech startup firm that has allowed people to have that resource to help you grow, protect, and save money. And I just wanted to share that to really offer. We just started the app. So I don't know if you know about, like, when TikTok first started, or Instagram first started. Well, we have the World Changers Network, and it's the link that's actually in the banner below, and it's free, right? It's free for anybody to really just say, hey, I'm looking to learn more about financial education and really change my life when it comes to financially. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just looking to be a resource to individuals when it comes to financial strategies, also business development as well. But I think that today was amazing. I think we talked about a lot of great tips, and I think we did Dr. C some justice. And I think, or for next week, or just want to tell the listeners, being for the shows, that's great shows that Dr. C is going to be putting out for the end of the year in December. And so there's going to be some future dates that's going to be coming out, as far as what day is that she's going to be on the platform and having the talk live with Dr. C.
Right. Last words for me: chase your dreams. They ain't that far. Put in the work. Put in the work. Put in the work. Put in the work. You can always restart. Just keep going, and I promise you, if you believe, like, you'll get there. Just keep doing what you got to do to get to where you want to be. And last but not least, build relationships.
Simple. Simple. Drop the mic.
Banger. Oh, but lastly, actually, I would like to say also, just to remind Quez and Lennox of how taking advantage of opportunities was, because the day before that we met Dr. C, or we was at that event, we went out to eat and was sitting down just talking like we doing now, and we mentioned we was talking about how we wanted to start our own show, or start a podcast basically with the three of us, and we was gonna try to build off and get more of our peers around our age just to have these type of conversations. So for Dr. C to see that in us the next day within less than 24 hours, that's something that we got to take advantage of. And I'm glad to see that we taking advantage of this opportunity. So y'all boys, keep it up, man. And we got big things coming.
Hey, what Lennon say, you got to believe. 20 hours. Next thing you know, we had an opportunity to be on the podcast. That's definitely a blessing.
Yep.
All right.
And it's 31 days left in the new year.
What you gonna do?
Don't start January 1st. Start now.
All right, now. I think we did a guys, and I hope to be back on Dr. C platform again.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. C.
Shout out to Dr. C.